I'm Shannon Ogden with your Denver 7 update. Con artists have made off with between $20 and $30 million in unemployment benefits. The state labor department tried to stop the bleeding by increasing security in the sign-up process, but that made it more difficult for deserving Coloradans to access the money they're owed. Now, that story we have covered before and often. And tonight, Denver 7's Megan Lopez is focusing on the fraud itself, where it's coming from, and the toll it's taking on employers.
For a while now, the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment has known fraud is happening in their claim system.
Previously, we've been able to tell you that we've only paid out $6.5 million on claims that are confirmed as fraudulent.
But they've also warned that's likely not the final number.
We do unfortunately expect that number will be increasing. Now
the CDLE is saying of the $8.77 billion in unemployment assistance paid out over the course of the pandemic, between $20 and $30 million were fraudulent claims. For employers,
making sure that those claims are paid accurately is just as important as making sure that they're paid quickly.
The latest fraud numbers are more than disheartening.
Both employers and employees have been catching fraudulent claims since the late spring and reporting them regularly. So it's troubling that those are still making it through the system.
JJ Ament from the Denver Metro Chamber of Commerce worries the numbers could be even higher. And he says this is a double whammy for businesses since raising payroll taxes on employers is how the state's unemployment fund will be replenished.
The unemployment trust has to be repaid whether it was depleted through legitimate claims or depleted through fraudulent claims. This just becomes another burden to hiring the next employee.
So he's calling on the state legislature to use stimulus money to at least cover the fraudulent costs,
so that we don't further impair our recovery.
Meanwhile, Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser says his team is still working to find the fraudsters.
We've put together a statewide task force, getting cooperation from all the district attorneys.
CDLE tells Denver 7 many fake claims are coming from countries like Nigeria, but
anyone who retrieves unemployment checks, debit cards, taps into funds has a local point of connection. And we want to figure out who those people are.
For now, though, the investigation continues, and so does the fraud.
We're going to need help finding them.
Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
A Loveland police officer is on leave and 2 others on desk duty following the release of a video in which a 73-year-old woman is violently detained. Here's that video. Attorneys say this woman has dementia and didn't understand why she was being stopped. The responding officer didn't seem to pick up on that in the way he spoke to her, brought her to the ground, and allegedly dislocated her shoulder. Officers called for backup, were no more sympathetic. So we asked the chief of police today if procedures should change.
Policing is a complicated profession. It is a dynamic profession. Every situation is different. We have to always assess and reassess when we have incidents, when we have complaints, to make a determination, could we have done it differently? To answer your question right now would be very preliminary.
Loveland police said they had not received any report that the woman was injured until the lawsuit was filed yesterday in federal court. The department expects an investigation will take some time. Weld County will join El Paso, Teller, and Douglas County in lifting restrictions on gyms and restaurants tomorrow. Businesses can keep precautions in place if they want to. From what we're hearing, at least a few of them will. Now, Denver will loosen but not lift restrictions tomorrow. As we suspected, restaurants are having a tough time achieving that 100% capacity while also keeping customers 6 feet apart as the city requires. They're also not complaining.
We're only going to be able to bring back in 6 tables. But even that feels pretty monumentally important to us.
Now that we're standing here and we have the possibility of seeing tables come back in, it gives everyone a sense of normalcy.
Local control takes effect tomorrow, and 2 things will remain the same no matter where you live. Masks are still required, and schools must maintain restrictions. All right, thank you for watching this Denver 7 update. We're always on to bring you Colorado news and weather 24 hours a day with live breaking news as it happens. And we'll be back with more news at 8 o'clock.